Lab 2B. Hi, Joe Cerrone, CAD 134, Basic AutoCAD for Interior Design. Today we're going to work on this dresser, and we're taking that from our textbook. In the instructions from the end of the exercises are to draw the dresser. Knobs are located the same for each drawer. Use offset construction line offset with O-snap turned on to locate each feature. And so we have this dresser that's 3 feet 5 inches tall and 3 feet 10.5 inches wide. And then we've got these drawers with these knobs on that. We're going to use our standard title block. So we're going to go to D2L, and we're going to use one of the title blocks from our AutoCAD course. So I'm going to download from the arc templates this B-size arc. We'll open that. And so we start off in what's called model space. And so here's model space. Here's our user coordinate system showing the y-axis is vertical and the x-axis is horizontal. We have the ribbon across the top. We're working in drafting and annotation workspace. We're going to turn on the menu bar. It's actually on, so if I hide the menu bar, we'll show the menu bar. And then we're going to start off on layer furniture, and we're going to set up our grid and our snap. And so we'll go to tools, drafting settings, and we have snap, and we'll make snap 6 inches, and we'll make snap or grid 12 inches, which is 1 foot, and so it abbreviates it with the foot mark or the apostrophe versus inches, which is the quote mark. We'll enable polar tracking, and we'll have O-snap enabled and O-snap tracking enabled. Alrighty. So I'm just going to grab a snip of the item. We're going to start off by drawing this part right here. And so the sides are 1.5 inch wide by 3 feet 5 inches tall. And so we're going to start off by drawing that. And so we'll get the line command. We'll zoom in to a location, and we'll start it right on the grid. We'll bring that north. We'll track that. You can see it's snapping in 1/2 inch increments. And so we'll point that in the north direction or 90-degree direction. We'll type in 3 feet 5, enter, and then I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to turn on my line weights. Remember, you can turn on your applications or your buttons down here. Just turn them all on. You don't necessarily need the infer constraints. And then we're going to draw another line. We're going to draw it from this endpoint here, and we're just going to go 1.5. And then we're going to go back down this way. You can see that it's not quite tracking because it's in 6 inch increments. And so what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the snap setting here. And what you can do is you can right click on it, and you can go to snap settings. And if we wanted to set the snap spacing to 1/2 inch, we can update that, and then it'll be a little easier. It'll be a little bit finer, but this will work fine. And so we'll bring that down to 3 feet 5 inches. Click, bring that over, click, and hit escape. If you want to verify the size of it, you can click on it and hover over a grip, and you can see it's 3 feet 5 inches. And so we've got this component here drawn. And then what we're going to do is we're going to offset this 2 feet 5.5 inches, and we'll draw the other one over on this side. We can copy it all, so we'll take a look at those techniques. So I'm going to hit escape to clear the grips, panning by pushing the middle wheel on the mouse, and then we're going to offset this line right here 2 feet 5.5 inches. And the hardest part is just learning how to input the coordinates. Excuse me, we're going to offset this 3 feet 5.5 inches. This is the distance between the knobs, and this is the distance between the legs. So we'll say offset, and then we'll type in 3 feet 5-1/2. Enter, and we'll select the line and then the side, and that's it. We've created that offset. We can hit enter, and then we can offset this line here 1 inch to the right as it's shown here. This is also 1 inch thick. Excuse me, it's 1.5 inches thick, so we'll offset that 1.5. And I just want to verify this one to make sure I did that one right. Yep, it's 1.5 inches also. And that's what's nice about the CAD system. It's very accurate, and it's easy to go in and obtain measurements. So I'm going to draw a line from this endpoint to this endpoint. Right click, enter. I can turn the wheel, I can pan, and it's kind of like working with an Xbox or something where you're working with a controller and you're using the left mouse and then the right mouse and enter. Alright, so we've got the two sides created, and then we're going to create this line here across the bottom for the bottom of the dresser, and it's located 3 inches from the bottom, and so we're going to offset this line 3 inches, and then we'll extend it, and then we'll offset it 1 inch. So again, we're using offset. And so we'll come over here. Here's our line. If we wanted to, we can draw a line from here to here as a temporary construction line. And then if we say offset, we can then type in 3, enter, and select the line and the side and hit escape. You can also use some of these utilities like measure and distance, and we can snap and see that that's 3 inches. And then I'll just erase this line here by clicking on it and selecting erase. Alright, we're going to then offset this line here 1 inch, and then we'll offset 9 inches for each of the drawers. Offset 1, and inches is the default, so you don't have to put the little parentheses mark on it. And then I'll hit escape, and I'll go back up to offset, and I'll change this value to 9 and hit enter, and then I'll select this line here at the top, and then I'll create the other drawers by selecting the line, and then you can either go top or bottom, and then we'll hit escape to stop offsetting lines. Alright, so we have the 4 drawers offset 9 inches each, and then we're going to put the tabletop on the dresser, and it's 1 inch and 1 inch, and then it's got an overhang of 1 inch. And so we can offset this line 1 inch by saying offset 1 and hit escape, and it makes the top. And then the overhang is also 1 inch, and so we can offset this, or this line, 1 inch to the side, and this inch 1 inch to the side, and then the thickness is 1 inch. So we should be able to do everything with offset 1. Here's the top of it, and then here's the side. I'm not going to do this side because I want to illustrate how the extend command works. And so the extend command is located under the trim command, and it's right here as extend. And the way that it works is that you need a boundary element. In other words, if I have two lines, and one is like this, and another one is like this. And let's draw one more for an example up here. We can extend this line to this boundary, but we can't extend this one to this because it doesn't reach. And so when we use the extend command, you can extend this line, but you won't be able to extend this one until you bring this one crossing it. Now this one will extend. And so when we go through and we want to create this geometry here, we can't extend it because it doesn't reach it. And so you can pull this up a little bit, and then you can use the extend command. And so you can extend it. And then trim works just like that in reverse. And so if we had a line that was crossing through these like that, and we wanted to trim off these edges here, you can say trim, and then you just hover and click on the parts you want to remove. And so here we can say trim and just hover over that. You can see the red X, and we'll trim that. And then we can extend this one out so that we have the line. And you can either extend it with a grip, or you can extend it with the extend command, and then we can trim the overhang like that. And so here it is again, same geometry. We just need to resuming. And so we're going to offset this line 1.5 inches, 1 inch. So we'll say offset 1 inch. We'll select this line here on that side, and then we'll just extend this up by using a grip. Hit escape, and then we'll use the extend command. We'll extend this out, and this one too. Hit escape, and then we'll flip this to trim, and we'll trim this and that, and hit escape. Alright, let's erase this. So the next step is to put the knobs on. And so the knobs are located 4.5 inches up from this line right here, and then 6 inches over from this line here. And so we're just going to offset 6 inches and 4.5 inches, and then we'll draw a circle with a 1.5 inch diameter at the intersection. And so we'll go to offset, and then we'll offset 6, this line here to this side, enter. Repeat the offset command by right clicking, and then the next one is going to be 4-1/2, enter, and it's this line here and here. And then we're going to zoom in, and we're going to draw a circle center diameter. The size, the center point will be right here with the O snap at that intersection. And you can see my O snap is on, and it's set for intersection. You'll get an X. And then we'll make that 1-1/2, enter. And then the other knob is located 2 and 5.5 inches from this knob, and so we can offset this line here 2 feet 5.5 inches and locate the other knob. And so what we'll do is we'll zoom down a little bit, we'll say offset, and then we'll say 2 feet 5-1/2. And you don't have to put the inches, but you can. Enter, and then you'll see that the cursor turns to this selection, and we'll select it, and then you can either go to the left or to the right. We'll go to the right, and then we can hit escape, go back to the circle command. It remembers the last size of the circle that we created. So when we give it the intersection, it remembers it's 1.5, and so you can either type it in again or just hit enter and take the default. Alright, so we have the two knobs on the bottom, and what we're going to do is we're just going to copy them to the other positions on the drawers. And what we'll do is we'll use a copy command, and we'll copy it from this endpoint right here to this endpoint and to this endpoint, and that'll keep everything in the right location. And so I don't need this construction line, but I'm going to leave them on there for right now. I'll say copy, and I'll put a blue window. If you put a green window, it selects and it'll try to copy these also. So if you hold shift and click, you'll see it's being removed from the selection set. And so we've removed those two, and then we hit enter, and then we can copy this one from here to here. And then if we wanted to do it again, I'll do that again. Just slow copy. You can say this one and this one, enter, copy it from here to here to here, hit escape, and then we can clean this up by clicking on it and erasing. Alright, and so that's our dresser. We haven't learned how to use dimensioning yet, but I'll show you how to put the overall dimensions. We'll put this overall dimension here to check the accuracy of the drawing. And so if we go in here, and I think we'll put this one on and this one, so we get the length and the width so that the furniture movers know the size. If we go here to dimensions, and then we use a linear dimension, we can put a linear dimension from here to here, and we can see that's 3 feet 6 inches. If we want to add the word reference to it, we can double click on it and it'll go into the text editor. So you double click, arrow right, enter, REF, green check mark. And then we can put in another dimension across the top here from this endpoint to this endpoint, and everything looks good. So it's accurate. It's 3 feet 10.5 inches by 3 feet 6 inches, just like it shows in our drawing. You're welcome to put the additional dimensions on it if you know how to dimension, but it's not required. Alright, let's put this on the title block now. So we've drawn this full size in model space, and then you have these tabs here which are to layout mode, or what's called paper space. And when you click on it, here's model, here's floor plan. You're on the floor plan tab of our title block, and what we can do is we can double click in the viewport, and then you can turn the wheel on the mouse and you can find the geometry for it. You could also go view, zoom, all, or you could double click the middle mouse wheel to zoom that to extents. Now we want to have this set at a scale that we can measure, and so the way that it works with AutoCAD is that we use this button down here, this box down here, to dial in the scale, and we're going to set this up at 1 inch equals a foot. So we're going to set that, and then we're going to lock it. And that's it. When we print this out full size on 11 by 17, we'll be able to use an architectural scale set for 1 inch equals a foot. But we need to tell people that. And so here you have to update the title block information by double clicking on it. And this will be 1 inch equals a foot. And we'll say OK. And then over here you want to put your name, CAD 134, And then this is project 2B. And then put the date and the scale. Alrighty. We'll save our file. And that completes this video tutorial.